Clayton! Clayton!
Tell me a story.
I'll never forget what I saw that night. Etched in my memory. Haunting my dreams ever since. Unless it's a weekend, it's fairly quiet on the levels. So, I can make my rounds on a standard Thursday, bottom to top and back again in a steady 15. I lit up a cigarette and took in the night. That's when I heard this weird sound coming from behind me. Sort of mechanical whirring. I turned towards the sound and glimpsed this intense light on the horizon, moving in my direction, covering miles in the blink of an eye. As it neared ever closer, it grew larger, brighter, covering all the colours of the spectrum, and then darkness. I became transfixed, unable to move. Like this sphere, now like a black hole the size of a house, was hovering nearly 50 feet above me. And suddenly, it shone this blinding light back down on me. Like God calling from on high. And then, it was gone.
Of course it's bollocks, but I've got to give them credit. It's one of the more creative hoaxes in a long line of tall tales from attention-seeking imaginatives and drunks. This assignment will bury me. Everybody's got a bloody story.
I must have been 9 or 10 when it happened. There was a full moon, and a thick fog filled the narrow streets.
It was moving towards me,
gliding above the floorboards.
Fear coursed through my veins when I heard its blood-curdling roar.
The sound of heavy hooves on the stone cobbles, quickening, approaching me from behind.
A woman, draped in a flowing gown.
That's when I first laid eyes on the creature. The dragon.
I was knocked to the floor. Terrified, I saw the blood-laden horse rear up in front of me. His rider was wearing a black cloak, and he was headless.
I stood frozen to the spot, trying desperately to avoid its hollow glare.
Burst out of the lake, water cascading from its scales, and it flew straight at me with death in its eyes.
The blood came pouring down his neck as the knife sliced into his skin, kind of like the razor-sharp teeth of a great white.
You're not filling me full of confidence in your abilities with that thing.
That happened twice, okay? I'm much better now.
I feel much more at ease.
You can always opt out if you want to.
I'm under strict instruction. Smarten up, ready for impending fatherhood.
You could look like you've been sunbathing in a balaclava.
It's a gamble I've got to take.
Hey, when did she do, actually? The last time she came in, she was fit to burst.
A couple of weeks.
Say goodbye to freedom, mate.
So I'm told.
Saw some of your recent work, the Lincoln myths.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I love that shit. There's websites full of them on the internet. In fact, I heard this one story from...
Christ, not you as well.
Okay. There's this remote rural village called Herg. And apparently, every 30 years, dating back hundreds, someone disappears, vanishes without a trace, no witnesses. Now, the subsequent investigations by the families and friends have all turned up no evidence to support the stories. It's become a bit of a folklore. And this weekend is the anniversary of 30.
I heard about your latest call. By all accounts, Bennett's pretty pissed off. You trying to force his hand?
Well, I can't fire him.
Who got the pages? Culture?
Sport.
Those twats. How much non-league football can they write about? And yet I still get stuck with the Cuckoo's Nest rejects.
You any good ones lately?
One guy drew me a map to some Nazi gold hidden in a sunken U-boat off the coast of Mablethorpe. So, are we good?
It'll do.
I'm so glad I can be of service.
If you're not happy in your new position, I'm sure your inbox is just full of offers, so please.
No.
No.
We've spoken about this.
You're a fucking pussy.
I need expenses.
What for?
Follow up a story.
Why can't you just make it all up like the last guy?
If I wanted to write fiction, I'd write my great space novel. See, as you gave me this bullshit assignment, the least you can do is stump up for it.
Christ.
Disappearances.
Disappearances. Do you know how many people disappear each week, even each day?
This one's different. Goes back centuries. Every 30 years. They call it 30.
30. It's imaginative. But this is the one you're buying into?
Well, there could be something to it. I thought I could go up, talk to some locals. You never know.
What'll it cost me?
Accommodation, train tickets, car hire.
Tickets? Is this an invite?
I'm taking Harriet.
That whore?
Is that a yes?
Just bring me a fucking story.
There you go, Grandma.
Grandma, that's fresh coming from you and your glass back.
Yeah, that's genetic.
Yet conveniently only flares up when there's some housework to be done.
No, I'm shocked by this assassination of my character.
I haven't forgotten the time you injured your back playing golf just to get out of laying those patio tiles.
Well, that was legitimate. Trapped a nerve attempting a long iron shot over the 10th. Ruined my round.
I'm sure it did. All right for some.
Oh, don't worry, I'm sure I can drink enough for the two of us.
Thanks.
All packed?
Sort of. So where exactly are you dragging me to?
You're
You're not going to be working all weekend, are you?
few interviews, half a day tops.
Why'd you continue to put up with this crap?
It's all they have for me at the moment.
Claire has for you.
It's work.
So, what's the story?
30.
The UFO one? It'll be nice. Just the two of us.
Yeah, well, I thought it could be a last little break before...
We're not camping, are we?
No, don't worry, I've learnt my lesson. No, I haven't actually booked one yet if you want to. That way you can't complain.
Complain?
Sorry, nag. No, I booked somewhere you can put your feet up. You enjoy the scenery.
I think I can manage that. Don't they have crime round here?
Anything?
Just the blue dot. Bloody map still won't load. And the signal's dropped out again.
Great. Probably end up driving into a quagmire. See if there's a proper map in the glove box.
Nothing.
There's someone up ahead.
What's he doing?
Excuse me? Excuse me?
Graven image.
Any chance you can point me in the direction of Herg?
Herg. Continue along this lane for approximately 2 miles, at which point you'll arrive at the hamlet of Magsby. As you pass through, you'll need to take the bridge over the river and continue on for another 6¼ miles, whereon you'll reach Herg.
Cheers. If I can get back to eat.
You will find the Roebuck Inn at Herg most accommodating.
Appreciate your help.
If they're all like that, you'll fill a bog.
Hope everything was okay.
It was lovely.
You'll struggle to get a signal in here. You're in a bit of a black spot.
It all adds colour to the story. Isolated from the wider world.
It writes itself.
Are you here about 30?
I am.
You don't strike me as the usual conspiracy junkies that pass through here.
Yeah, I'm writing an article. What do you know about it?
Same ghost story as everyone around here.
Disappearances.
Yeah.
Tell me a story.
Centuries ago, a malevolent entity was summoned by a disillusioned religious fanatic in order to do the bidding of a worshipped, darker, higher power, demanding a blood debt in exchange for prolonged life. Life for a life. Generations of disappearances. People being taken as sacrificial lambs. Until the eventual demise of the Black Priest, having succumbed to extreme old age. Silence fell, and it was thought that the Wraith, which shared a symbiotic relationship, had also passed over, and the threat was extinguished. But they were deceived. 3 decades later, on the anniversary, another was taken. The dark shadow was silenced, and every 30 years hence kills on, in continued payment to its master.
So it's supernatural then?
If you believe in the legend.
Do you?
Like I said, it's just a ghost story, passed down through generations and told to scare children.
But people have disappeared.
According to some, but not in my lifetime.
Who should I speak to then?
I'd try Clayton Eldridge. If 30 is to be believed, his sister was the last to be taken.
Really? Where do I find him?
He lives out on Nook Road. You may find him elusive.
Why's that?
He spends his time combing the wilderness in the vain hope of finding her.
To 30 years? I'll track him down.
Can I ask, what do you believe?
I'm inclined to agree with you.
Yet you still came all the way out here.
30 really is nothing more than an old wives' tale, why are you out here?
Drawn by the disappearances.
Because of Abigail.
I want to discover the truth. In my experience, once you scrape away all the folklore bullshit that taints these stories, there's always fragments of credibility. Doesn't matter if it's sightings, attacks, abductions.
But 30 years apart. Surely that's coincidence. Ambitious, even for a serial killer or copycats.
Maybe. Maybe not.
What's that?
Come on, let's get inside.
Hello?
This is ominous.
Yeah, not creepy at all.
Hello?
Shit, I left my handbag in the car.
Here you are, go get it.
Don't be daft. Give me the keys.
Sure.
And they say chivalry's dead. You get us checked in, and then come and find me.
Can I help you?
My partner rang yesterday about a room.
Is that Lincoln?
2 for 2 nights.
I was expecting you a few hours ago.
Sorry, we got waylaid.
I've put you in the autumn room.
Sounds good.
Is that a card payment?
Of course.
The upstairs at the end of the corridor. Breakfast will be available from 7:30.
Thanks. Don't worry, I'll get the bags. I should have carried you over the threshold.
Not in my out of wedlock state. What the hell are you doing?
I'm trying to find the creepy Victorian doll. I mean, it's bound to be here somewhere.
I think it's charming. Untouched.
Yeah, by the 21st century. You okay?
Cramp.
Better?
Yeah. Thanks. What time is it?
It's early.
Sorry I woke you.
It's fine. You sure you're okay?
Yeah, go back to sleep. I'm going to stretch my legs. Try and shake it off.
You want me to come?
No, go back to sleep.
Harriet. Sorry I missed your call. Leave a message and I'll get back to you.
Don't know what you're thinking about those calls from Claire, but it is over. I've been clear to her, but I can't stop her calling me. Please come back so we can talk about it.
Hi, this is Harriet. Sorry I missed your call. Leave a message and I'll get back to you.
Please call me. I've been through this. It was a stupid mistake, and I swear nothing more has happened.
Hi, this is Harriet. Sorry I missed your call. Leave a message and I'll get back to you.
This isn't like you. Just call to say that you're okay and let me explain. I'll come and pick you up.
Hey, this is Harriet. Sorry I missed your call. Leave a message and I'll get back to you.
Hello? Hello?
You shouldn't be back here.
You were nowhere to be found.
How is it I can help?
Have you seen Harriet?
Who?
The woman I'm with. Have you seen her this morning?
I have been up and about since 5:30, and you are the first person I've seen.
What about the other guests?
There are no other guests.
I'm going to borrow your landline. I can't seem to get any decent signal anywhere in this place.
You may have better look up on the hill.
Well, if I just use your line as I'm here, I really need to get a hold of her.
It's just behind you.
Hi, this is Harriet. Sorry I missed your call. Leave a message. Hi, this is Harriet. Sorry I missed your call. Leave a message and I'll get back to you.
And what did you say to her?
Know as well as me that she can't satisfy you like I can.
And I thought I made this clear that it's over. I love Harriet.
I was thinking about you all night, wishing you were between my thighs.
You and I haven't got time for games. Tell me what you said to Harriet.
But the two of you had a lover's tip.
Stop the lies. What did you say to her?
What possible reason would I have to speak to her?
To spoil the water after I turned you down?
Fucking hell, you do think highly of yourself.
Whatever. You've achieved your goal. Congratulations.
I wanted you last night, not her.
You'll wake up to find the bed empty and half a dozen calls from you.
I can assure you I've got no intention of telling that knocked-up whore about us.
Enough. She's nowhere to be seen. She's not answering her phone.
If she's finally put two and two together, you need to sort this out. I suggest you find her and convince her she's wrong. Fine enough, it's sad. Let's get things straight. That's all it ever is, was. I don't want a crazy woman or bitch that we don't want to.
Now, how exactly do you expect me to explain these late-night calls?
I'm sure you already told him I didn't want to mention it because I have to come in a nice way, so bullshit her some more. In future, I suggest you only call me with either a story or a desire to fuck.
Anything to it?
Nothing untoward in the immediate area. Moving forward, I'm going to need a recent picture of the missing.
She's not just missing. I believe she's been taken, abducted.
So you keep inferring. But until I find evidence to suggest such nefarious deeds, it's all the same. We'll focus on the facts. People go for early morning hikes around here every day of the week. On occasion, some end up venturing a little further than they anticipated and head off the beaten path. It's easy to lose your bearings. You said yourself she went to stretch her legs.
To walk off cramp. 8.5 months pregnant, she's not going hiking.
Might appear unlikely, but past experience has shown me that the simplest explanation for the presumed missing is most often the correct one. Don't be surprised when she walks over the horizon wondering what all the fuss is about.
And if she doesn't?
Then I'll begin the necessary procedure.
All right, if it's so black and white, explain this. Found it pressed into the ground near the car.
Knitting?
Evidence.
Of what?
I don't know. Struggle? More than you'd have me believe.
There it is.
Yeah, what is?
You're one of them. Another myth chaser.
I like the Stardolph News, and yes, I'm investigating 30, but like you, I'm only interested in the facts.
Then let me lay them out for you. 30 is nothing more than a bedtime story told by parents to keep their kids in line.
So I've been told.
And pay it no mind. Heck, I've even told it to my young'uns. I can assure you, there's no monster to be found.
No monster, perhaps, but you can't deny there have been disappearances. The Eldridge girl?
Been doing some research.
Well, that coupled with Harriet's disappearance, there's your 30-year pattern.
I hate to burst your bubble like the others who have come round here over the years hoping to find a story. But all any of the investigations have discovered was one legitimate case which was solved. A little boy who cried wolf. The proprietor said you checked in alone.
Harriet was at the car. Think I did it?
Just establishing the full picture.
All right, what is it, a conspiracy? Or are you just incompetent?
I think that about wraps it up. Despite what you might think, I'm trying to help you find Harriet. I'll continue to do so, I'm not going to stand here and be insulted by an arrogant hack who's brought into a hoax. And I certainly won't chase shadows.
So that's it then?
Text me that picture of Harriet plus her mobile number and I'll check with the hospital. If you want something to do, I suggest you contact any of her family and friends.
But I guarantee she'll be back here before you get through her address book.
I'll keep you updated, but call me when she's back.
Hi, this is Harriet. Sorry I missed your call. Leave a message and I'll get back to you.
Please let me know where you are. I've been out looking for you. I'm getting worried. Just let me know you're both safe. I'm sorry.
Lincoln, I presume.
Caulfield?
We have to be brief as this meeting wasn't scheduled.
I appreciate you seeing me.
Alex, explained your situation. What can I do for you?
I need you to circulate the story.
Have you contacted the police?
I spoke to a Sergeant Jarrett. Didn't seem overly concerned, though. He just fed me some tosh about how she's probably got sidetracked whilst out walking.
You'd be surprised how often that's the case.
She's pregnant.
Well, have you contacted the hospital?
Nothing. Jarrett's put them on alert.
Well, it appears as though the sergeant has the situation under control.
I need any information. It's important this gets out there quickly.
Well, we're simply a weekly, I'm afraid.
And what about online?
Ink and paper only. We barely have enough news for that.
I'm not asking for a bloody Sunday supplement. It's a small piece asking for any knowledge.
Well, I'll see what I can put together, but it's going to be very tricky with a so near publication.
I suspect foul play.
Along what lines?
30.
30. Never meant anything to it. Dead ends. We just lean on it for tourism.
So why do I seem to keep getting the same party line?
So you've mentioned it to Jarrett then?
I did.
Well, put yourself in his position. What do you expect him to do? Call a priest?
No, but there should be a proper investigation into the facts.
The facts according to you.
I'm sorry?
Harriet hasn't been seen by anyone other than yourself since you were in the Roebuck.
Who have you been talking to?
I get my ear to the ground.
And what exactly are you trying to say?
You built quite the fan base of discerning city readers with your column filler.
I just do the job I'm assigned.
Well, what better way to get back amongst it than for one of your stories to actually turn out to be true? And the added tragedy of it being so close to home. That's a national front page.
Are you fucking serious?
As soon as Benedict gives me a say-so, I'll see what I can put together.
Oh, no, this is fucking insane. I'll find it myself.
Hi, this is Harriet. Sorry I missed your call. Leave a
Glad you took up my invitation. Come in.
Why am I here?
We'll have time for your questions. Take a seat. The kettle's just boiled. Do you always repay people's hospitality by snooping through their belongings?
Remove the findings, justify my actions. What the hell is this?
I think we should have just waited. Camera.
Not until you tell me what I'm seeing here.
It's not what you think.
Convince me.
Don't you trust me?
Not after today.
But I invited you here.
With a creepy anonymous note. Where's Harriet?
Please sit.
No.
Suit yourself. Have you heard of 30 Truth Seeker?
The blog?
It's mine.
You seem more credible than most of the stuff I've read.
30's been a hobby of mine going on 15 years.
You believe it?
Yes. Harriet's disappearance, I'm afraid, has all the hallmarks of 30.
And what do you know about it?
I've lived in Hurg my whole life. I remember when Veronica Eldridge went missing 30 years ago. My parents wouldn't talk about it, they thought it'd be too upsetting, but I would overhear them discussing things when they thought I wasn't around. My granddad would tell me stories about it, though. He used to give me chills. He would say that this was his third 30. Again, my parents would laugh it off. He even told me that his own granddad used to tell him about people vanishing when he was young. My parents were right, it scared the shit out of me. What could do that? Over hundreds of years. Something very sinister. Evil.
And what makes you so different from the others who just dismiss it?
I've got no hidden agenda.
So there is a conspiracy to cover it up.
Yes and no. I've seen the police files, and what you've been faced with is boys' own loyalty. Caulfield and Jarrett go back a long way, they're thick as thieves. Sergeant Jarrett has a family history of being burned by 30, and Aaron, he's just a bit of a prick. Jarrett's father was the policeman in Hurg when Veronica went missing. He fully believed all the stories, took it all very seriously. I believe it was a disappointment of never finding a missing pregnant girl, which...
Pregnant?
Yes.
The Eldridge girl?
Yes.
What about the others?
No records, but I fear so. Which makes it all infinitely more disturbing. Jarrett Sr. took his own life as a result of his failure.
So how do I find Harriet? She's still out there with her unborn child. I have to hold on to the belief she's still alive.
I've been working my way through residents past and present, the history of Hurg, interviewing all to get any accounts of 30. Amongst all the reports, wild stories and bullshit, one individual stood out.
The father of Veronica's child?
Unlikely that was always a mystery. Clayton Eldridge.
Tape recorded on the 5th of September 1987 from Sergeant Arthur Jarrett, conducting the interview of one Clayton Eldridge, age 16. Okay, Clayton, I'm going to ask you some questions, okay? First off, in your own words, do you want to tell me what happened?
We were out taking Kit for his walk down Borderwood Path, when out of the night a blinding light took my vision.
He claimed the next thing he remembers was coming to at sunrise to find his sister missing, his dog dead, and his hands and clothes covered in blood. Hypnotherapy was employed to try and subconsciously bring out a confession, but all he said was he heard a voice crying out in the wilderness like something out of a nightmare.
What about DNA?
The blood was from the dog. No trace of Veronica. Despite Clayton's continued pleas of innocence with no other suspects, he was detained in a psychiatric ward until his release 5 years ago, wherein he returned to the area in his old cottage. He lives alone and barely speaks to anyone. He just walks across the moors.
We need to track him down. And I'll pay Jarrett a visit.
Let's leave it. Come back in the morning.
No. If he has Harriet, I'm not waiting until tomorrow. You can wait here if you want.
Yes, Margaret.
Where?
I don't know, it's fucking him.
Did he see you?
Who?
Someone's in there.
Wait here.
We should get Jarrett.
After I have Harriet.
wages of sin is death.
Just hold on.
Against the wall, if you please.
Just wet your ears up. You don't have to do this.
What calls you to purpose here?
We're looking for someone, a missing woman.
Veronica.
No, my partner Harriet. Where is she?
It's too late.
Look, just tell me where I can find her.
She's gone.
What have you done with her?
As you sow, so shall you reap.
Please help us, Clayton, or either her or the child still alive.
Once they take them, they don't come back. They never come back.
Who takes them?
Where the fuck is she? Where the fuck is she? They have her now. Who has her?
It's not him. What is all this, Clayton?
I'm searching for her.
What do the threads mean?
Esper stones.
I'm going to try and call Jarrett.
Bruce? Sandra?
Who did this? Out of the darkness.
Just hold tight, we'll get you to hospital.
Too late. Sorry. Why? What for?
You were creating noise I couldn't silence.
Do you know where Harriet is?
My father was right. There's a monster lurking in the shadows.
Thank God you're okay.
Evidently.
Your head, let me get you patched up.
Not all mine.
Whose blood is it? What happened to
Where
you?
the fuck were you?
I told you I went to call Jarrett.
I came outside and you were gone.
I was trying to get a signal. When I got back, you vanished, just the empty car. I feared the worst.
Jarrett's dead.
We should go inside. You're certain it was Jarrett that dragged you out there?
He admitted as much.
Why would he do that?
Better to bury the truth than be hung in search of a myth.
Yet he's dead all the same.
Perversely poetic.
Do you think he was connected to 30?
You know, he spoke of something darker as to what killed him.
Clayton disappeared.
What?
I was looking for you and he was also gone.
Fuck. Well, I knew he was involved. You talked me out of it. But if they're still alive and we're to find them, we need to act now. I'll contact the county police, head back to the B&B.
I was looking through photos of Clayton's wall.
Anything to it?
Not yet.
Well, keep combing through the lunatics' notations. Decipher any thread from the information which might bear relevance.
I'll compile everything ready for the police.
Yeah, thank you.
Tread carefully. If you see Clayton, don't confront him or find them.
Are you all right?
You found us.
Come forth into the light, lone traveller. A sacrificial mark. Mother of life, mother of death.
We need to leave. Now.
I am legacy. I am father. I am wrath. Born of the shadows, a lineage unbroken for generations.
What the fuck's happening?
I am a righteous servant. I winnow your soul and ignite the spirit of darkness. I am a priestess, a bringer of death.
Blood must be paid.
Are you okay?
Wait, no!
What are you doing?
Tell me a story.
There's a remote rural village called Herg. Apparently, every 30 years, dating back hundreds, someone has disappeared, vanished without a trace. No witnesses.
It's just a ghost story, passed down through generations and told to scare children.
In 30 is nothing more than a bedtime story.
I used to tell him about people vanishing when he was young.
This one's different. It goes back centuries.
Despite reports being filed by family and friends of the missing person, subsequent investigations never found any evidence to support the accusations.
And this weekend is the anniversary of 30.
It'll be nice. Just the two of us. Isolated from the wider world.
What could do that? Over hundreds of years. Something very sinister. Evil.
There's a monster lurking in the shadows.
The stories have become folklore. They call it 30.